Hey, hey. Hi, Virgos. All right, so we left this at a cliffhanger, so we're doing a part two. If you didn't see part one, there's a free link right there in the description box. You can catch up with part one and then bounce back over here because we're going to leap right on into where we left off. The star was our last card, and we were talking just on Virgo's side because Virgo seems like this super moon is a time where Virgo feels so good. They feel single. They feel healed from things. They feel like they've let stuff go, and it feels like they're looking more toward their future, their hopes, their dreams. I would say Virgo has some very big wins coming in during this full moon, and I wanted to take a closer look at that. I'm going to use a deck that already has two meanings on each card, so I only read this one upright no matter how it comes out. We have a King of Cups going to the Page of Cups. We have an Ace of Cups going to the Two of Cups. Okay, Virgos. I love this card so much. I love the shape of the baby. Babies are such adorable shapes. They're like little raindrops with eyes. And I love this card so much. And I love the image here of this. Like, if this is what Virgo's, vision of their wish come true would be, like somebody who's a really good papa, a king who's nice to children and animals and, the best kind of masculinity. Doesn't mean that, this has to be about a male. It's just we see the classic male archetype and the best energy, like somebody who loves their child, somebody who's, tender and gentle. That feels like what Virgo's vision of, like, here's what I'm hoping for. I'm single. I'm starting to wonder who will I meet next? Well, what is it that I would like to have? What is it that is on my shopping list? I know the thing I'd really like is somebody that's a great father figure, role model, mother figure, whatever. Just somebody who would be even if Virgo's not intending on having children, still, I think Virgo's like, one of the qualities I'm really looking for is somebody who's like emotionally, like, able to be really full of like outpouring and love and express their love. With that Page of Cups, that looks like we definitely have a Virgo saying, that's who I'm going to meet. I've got it in my head, the kind of person I'd like to meet, and now I'm ready to meet someone like that. With the Ace of Cups going to the Two of Cups, though, I think Virgo is like filling up it almost feels like, she's busy. She's thinking about what she's doing. She's filling up her, decanter of water or her giant cup here. And that's what she's thinking about. Almost like Virgo's going to be in a really good mood. Again, Virgo could be a masculine just as easily as a feminine. This could be, a feminine. It never matters to me what genders. I'm just saying Virgo is clear on what they would like to welcome into their life, the kind of person they'd like to meet. And they're kind of like happily projecting it and kind of almost like imagining, yeah, that's the kind of person I'm going to meet next. That's the kind of lover I'd like to have. Boy, I'm looking forward to meeting somebody like that. But what Virgo does not realize is standing right there on the shore watching Virgo is a Two of Cups. Now, I don't know who is that Two of Cups. Is that Two of Cups the person who's thinking so heavily about Virgo, the one we talked so much about in part one? The person who wishes that they had done everything so differently with Virgo, the one who knows that they wounded Virgo. We have a Four of Wands going to a Four of Wands going to a Five of Wands. And we have a Six of Wands going to the Seven. Sorry, I can't speak today. Six of Coins going to the Seven of Coins. Wands and coins are pentacles, however we want to say it. The person standing there watching Virgo from the shoreline, I do not believe is the King of Cups that Virgo is envisioning. Like, that's who I'd like to meet. That's who I'm going to, consciously like scan the crowds for. Virgo just has like this positive image of who he or she will end up with, because that's who they're going to be more attracted to. And they already envision this for themselves. But what they don't know is that they're currently being viewed by somebody at a distance who watches Virgo and says, Virgo, it's my Four of Wands, the person that I would want to marry. They're my Two of Cups. But oh, good God. When we go from the Four of Wands to the Five of Wands, this is somebody who's thinking incessantly about it. Like, Virgo is the person I would want to marry. Virgo is the person, and their mind is like a freaking circus over here, right? And then we go from this idea of how would I have this, wonderful relationship where Virgo would want to stand, arm in arm with me, how would I do this? Because it would take time to maybe get Virgo to want to do that with me. That's whomever this Two of Cups person is, that's what they're thinking about. My impression is right now that it could be the person from Virgo's past, but we've got a Two of Wands going to the Three of Wands. Again, they're off in the distance. They keep thinking about sometime in the future, I'm going to ask that Virgo out. I know this Virgo is busy doing other things. I see this Virgo kind of like happily living out their dreams. I think Virgo's going to be really pleased with their life during this full moon and have a very good indication of what they'd like to build and grow. This could be the full moon up ahead as dusk sets, or this could be a sunrise. I really couldn't tell you which timeline this is on in either of these. I only can see that this is all very timely for our Virgo. Virgo, do you know that somebody has their eye on you as you're picturing what you would like? We have Hierophant to the Lovers. There is, like, Virgo has a strong sense of, I know that my person's out there. My crown chakra is open, and I sense that the universe is going to help, bring me to the person who's right for me. I don't know, because when we talk about the Hierophant, it's more like the energy realm sometimes. I don't think Virgo knows who is, got their eyes on Virgo. I just think Virgo is aware that somebody is out there for them. That's like, Virgo has no doubt in their mind during this full moon, I'm going to have a really loving relationship. But Virgo's not thinking about their ex. Virgo's just sensing, I know something beautiful will happen for me because I'm actually ready for it. And I know I'm going to have a really loving person. The one thing that I will point out, the difference between part one and part two, the person that Virgo is imagining being with is a King of Cups. At no point did that ex think, I'd love to come back in Virgo's life and do things over and be a King of Cups. They said, I wish that if I could do it all over again, I would be a King of Pentacles, which would be a great match for Virgo. And I would be a King of Wands. I would have traveled to go get to Virgo. I would have put up a house with Virgo. I would have stayed with Virgo instead of blocked Virgo and run from Virgo. That's what I would do differently. But nowhere did they say that they would give the emotional energy that it turns out Virgo is actually thinking, you know what I'd like? Now that I'm over the ex, and I know they loved me at one point for what it's worth, but I'm moving on. And I'm going to let go of that whole thing. And I feel lighter and I feel brighter and I feel more hope for my future. You know who I'd really like to match with? Somebody really loving who would who I could see in a very maternal or paternal way. I would judge my next partner on, would I leave my child with them? Would I leave my puppy dog with them? Do I trust that they're a really loving person that would, see, some little fragile person as someone to protect? Or any creature, how would I evaluate the kind of partner that I really want to have? Well, they would have to be somebody that I know I could trust 10,000% to be so nice to a baby, a pet, those things, to be really emotionally loving. Those are the qualities Virgo's looking for. Nowhere did we see Virgo thinking about their ex, and nowhere did we ever see Virgo's ex as a potential King of Cups. We saw them as a King of Swords in the reverse in part one, and then now they wish that they could have a do-over with Virgo and be two different kings. Nowhere do we have them associated with the King of Cups. So I'm thinking that Virgo's Two of Cups person, the one who's got their eyes on Virgo even now, although Virgo doesn't know it, they simply sense that they're going to have a happily ever after. I don't think this is the ex. I think this is somebody new. Let me just ask, is anything new coming into the scene with Virgo? Sorry, my hair is stuck on things at this point. We have the Five of Wands and we have the Star. Not during this full moon. This full moon is a time for thinking things out. It's time for Virgo to keep focusing on what they want and maybe keep imagining something very happy with the Star coming out a second time for Virgo. That Five of Wands is like, I'm going over in my head and I'm imagining and maybe Virgo is starting to manifest by almost like fantasizing, picturing what would really suit me. Where would I want to live with the person? What kind of lifestyle would I want to have with them? I think Virgo is Seven of Pentacles. They are planting the seeds of the kind of thing they really want to welcome into their life, the kind of relationship, the kind of person. Actually, I think this is great because Virgo's busily imagining. Ooh, Virgo's like, I do want somebody who's on the same page as me as far as the kind of future they'd like to have, even maybe right down to where where they'd want to live. If I'm going to invite in the next chapter of my life, the next lover, I want somebody who actually sees things really similar to me. Um, and I don't think this is like because Virgo's like, because I'm perfect. I think it's just saying I would love somebody who maybe feels the same way I do about wanting to grow and, really wanting to. I think that Virgo might be in an energy of wanting to be someone who can plant a garden and be there. If you're going to plant a garden, you got to be around to take care of it. If you're going to have house plants and babies and pets and stuff, that all requires some kind of ability to tend to those things, nurture them, see them grow. And I think more than ever, Virgo's in a place in their life where they may want to develop something. I mean, Virgo might say, I'd love to meet a partner who, wants to build a business with me. I'd love to meet a partner who, like, maybe this is not the time of Virgo's life where they're like, oh, I want this extravagant life where we rush around and we travel the globe. Instead, I'm ready to be home in one place. And I kind of would love to have a partner that does that with me, that wants the same things. So that's also important, not just to have somebody who's like emotionally loving, but I also want somebody who maybe is on the same page as me. And Virgo wants somebody who's got some red hot passion. Okay. We got the devil card. Virgo wants somebody with passion. The devil doesn't have to be a bad card. It all depends on what cards are around it. Oh, Four of Swords, Page of Pentacles. So more than that, they want somebody who's healed from some of their own life experiences, so they're more empathetic. That I could understand why Virgo would put that into the mixture. So the person that they're imagining interacting with is somebody that has healed from traumas of their own, is passionate, is joyful, feels like, oh man, I got my life back after going through some tough stuff. Virgo's not looking for somebody who's scarless. They're looking for somebody who's healed from their own scars and who's more excited than ever to be like, I'm back. You know what? That situation was so painful, but it didn't destroy me. And here I am, I'm back. And I can go ahead and be like grateful for my life again. And I'm excited to live and I'm excited to love. And this just feels like a breath of fresh air. So Virgo basically wants a happy life with someone. They want a partnership that will be joyful instead of this stagnated, painful mess of the past. Can I just ask, person who is watching Virgo, the Two of Cups person, again, who are you? You are slowly gravitating toward Virgo. Oh my God, we have the three knights. Okay. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. This is somebody who they might waver a little bit back and forth about like, I really want to take action toward Virgo. I've been thinking about this for a long time, but then I haven't asked Virgo out. But then I almost feel like impulsively, I just might have to. God, Virgo is so sexy. I feel like this is somebody who sees Virgo repetitiously, like maybe 3 times a week, and they just haven't asked Virgo out yet. World card. Maybe they're like building up the courage. Maybe they're saying, I'm about ready to, the world card says it's just when I ask Virgo out, it's going to change the dynamics between us. So I have to be thinking about that. I have to know that's what I'm about to do. So I've got to be ready for what that means. If it goes badly and Virgo doesn't want to go out with me, I mean, maybe that's going to throw a wrench in things where it'll be uncomfortable for us to be around each other after that. Or I want to ask Virgo out at a time where, I don't know, it just feels like a new beginning here. It's like, let's flip over the egg timer, but they already have a pretty damn good idea that they would like to, they're not going to ask Virgo out because they're bored. This is like, they already see a potential long-term situation with Virgo. We got the Ten of Swords in the reverse. That their fear is like rejection or making a mistake and asking Virgo out. They may not do this till 2026. Maybe there's a reason for that. Why might it not happen till 2026? Hierophant, Queen of Pentacles. You know what? Maybe they're very intuitive whether or not they realize it. And they are sensing like, okay, let me use this analogy because I think it's very something everybody knows. If you're driving down the road, you can oftentimes tell when somebody wants to get in your lane, but they haven't turned on their signal yet. We all know that's just, and it's not necessarily like the driver has, sped up, slowed down, has started to act squirrely. It's just, you know that they need your lane, but they haven't put on their blinker because they're wondering, okay, what pace should I keep? Should I go a little faster and move over? Is this person going to let me over? Should I hang back and slow down and let you move past me, and then I'll slide in behind you? It's like we can tell when somebody wants our lane. But sometimes we automatically will be like, oh, they want over, I'll speed up so that they can slide in behind me. We check for them and make sure that they got space, or we hang back and, do the motion over, knowing that they're going to probably see it in their rear view anyway and see that we're giving them space. If we're considerate drivers and we're alert, we know this. And we move with each other and we help each other get the lane that we want, because no normal person wants to block somebody from getting to where they desperately need to go. We all know how stressful that is when you miss your off ramp, you miss your turn, you miss, it can throw your whole day into chaos, right? So I'm going to say this, that same energy of sensing, they're picking up on that. They seem to be, and by the way, they certainly could be a Taurus, they certainly could be a Capricorn, but they are sensing. It's almost like, I'm going to move toward Virgo. I keep thinking about it and then I hold back a little, then I keep thinking about it and then I hold back a little. It's because they need to ask Virgo out at a time when Virgo's ready to be asked out. Right now, Virgo's still in the thought processing time frame, especially around this full moon. Man, I'm excited. I know I'm going to meet somebody. I'm getting an idea of what I'd like, what kind of partnership I'd like to have, what kind of relationship I'd like to have. I'm picturing it and I'm getting really happy. But I think Virgo almost needs some time to still keep mulling over, because we did see the star twice, which can represent distance and also, the wishes that we have and a certain amount of healing. And I think the more Virgo is excited about meeting the next person, the more this is like, yeah, I like this idea. And I would just say that this individual, this new person, this actual Two of Cups person who has marriage on their mind, who thinks the world of Virgo already, they aren't going to ask Virgo out for a little bit. And I think that's good, because I think that they're subconsciously, or maybe with that open crown chakra, they know that they're waiting for the signal. And the signal will have something to do with a time when Virgo is like completely, really clicked in, dialed in, super confident. And that's the day they'll ask Virgo out. I think it's because they sense the same way we sense when somebody is ready to change lanes, and then we react to them. That's what I think this is about. We're going to pull one last card for what happens to that X of Virgos that we saw in part one. Okay, a little bit not concerning exactly, but confusing. Okay, so we have that their crown chakra is opening also, but they don't seem to be moving toward Virgo. They think all the time, I should have loved Virgo. I should have given my heart to Virgo. But I think that they already know Virgo's going to end up with somebody else. And I think this was what holds them back. I don't see the X coming forward actually at all. I see them always wishing that they had, though. I see them always loving Virgo. And I also see them knowing that maybe Virgo's supposed to be with somebody else. But man, they did love Virgo, and I think they always will. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.